Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be talking about school supplies that you will need when you start law school. Let's jump right into it. In this video, I'm going to structure it that there are going to be two baskets, mandatory items and optional items. Mandatory items you're definitely going to need. Optional items you're also going to need, but it's not critical that you get them. So first, we're going to be going over the mandatory items. These are going to be items that are going to be super important for your success in law school, and I'm speaking firsthand with this information. First, you're going to need a reliable computer. It's going to be super important for you to have a computer that works, that can hold the battery charge, that has plenty of space. And why do you need this? There are 5 reasons that I thought of, and I'm sure you could think of another 5. First, you're going to be taking all of your notes in class, for the most part, are going to be on computers unless the professors request that you don't have a computer in that class, which maybe will be about half the classes. Additionally, you're going to be drafting documents on your computer all the time for legal writing. Next, you're going to be doing a lot of online research, looking up cases on databases and finding case briefs online. So you're definitely going to need that online aspect. Next, you're going to be collaborating with a bunch of your classmates on different projects, and it's going to be important that you're going to be able to check your emails and make Word documents together. That's going to be important. Finally, you're going to be outlining all of your materials. Eventually, at the end of the semester, you're pretty much going to take all of your cases and your notes and put them into one document. And with a computer, it's going to make that process so much easier. Make sure you have a reliable computer. If you have an old computer, you could trade it in and upgrade. If you have a reliable computer already, then just continue what you're doing. But this is going to be super mandatory. Next, you're going to want to get 5 binders. Why? You're going to be taking around 4 classes each semester. And some of the classes are not going to allow you to have your computer in class. So by having a binder, you're going to be able to keep all the documents organized. If the professor gives out handouts or sample questions, you're going to be able to hole punch them and put them into the binder. Additionally, when you write up your briefs, you're going to be able to easily insert them and restructure, and it's going to make your life so much easier than going for a spiral notebook. I highly recommend binders. Next, you're going to want to pick up a couple packs of loose leaves. You're going to need them for taking notes in class where you're not allowed to have your computer. And additionally, handwriting notes is better for memorization, and it's going to be important for you to do that. And you're going to want to write up your briefs on paper. It's going to just be a quicker process for you. And you're going to be able to reference multiple documents at once easily. And lastly, outlining and organizing your thoughts is going to be key when you're writing up anything. And so just having a place to jot down your ideas, even when you're sending something like an email, and especially when you're writing something that's big like a brief or a memorandum, you're definitely going to want to write out your thoughts beforehand before you just jump on the computer and type things out. Next, you're going to want to get colored pens. I highly recommend colored pens. You need at least blue and black pens. And this is going to be super important because when you color coordinate your notes and your briefs, it's going to make them easier on your eyes to read them, which is going to assist in information retention. And it's going to increase your attention when you're taking notes and you're writing your briefs. You're going to be able to look at the different colors on the page, and it's going to make it easier. Highly recommend. If you don't want to go and pick out all the different colors, at least bring a blue and a black pen with you at all times. Lastly, of all the mandatory items, you need highlighters. Highlighters are going to be super important as you're going to have these big case books, which are going to have cases that are going to be over 10 pages long. And if you don't highlight and you don't follow along with pen on the page, you're going to get lost when you're reading. So it's going to be very important. Again, it might be a lot of money and it might reduce the value of your textbooks, but this is going to help you with attention and recall. And ultimately, you're in law school not to make a quick buck on your textbooks. You're on there to learn the information. And additionally, you're probably going to get a bunch of highlighters for free in law school, so there's no need to purchase more. You're only going to need to start with 1 or 2, and you should accumulate more as you go on. Super important. I found highlighters were absolutely instrumental in my success in law school. Next, we're going to go on to the optional items. Optional items, I think, are also super important. However, they're not as mandatory because you could get by without picking up these items. The first is a hole puncher. You could get by without a hole puncher, but it's going to make all of your organizations that much easier. When you get a handout, you're going to be able to punch holes in it. You could print out a case online, punch holes in it, throw it right in your binder. It'll be seamless, and it's going to just make everything more organized. Highly recommend. You don't need to pick one up. It's not super important, but I highly recommend it. Next, a stapler is also going to be super important. You're not going to need one per se, because chances are wherever you're printing out your papers, there's going to be a stapler that's going to be available for your use. However, you're going to have a lot of papers that you're going to want to staple together, whether it's cases or whether it's different documents that you're handing in. Definitely important to have a stapler. This one speaks for itself. And lastly, you're going to want some type of organizational structure, whether it be a planner or a calendar. And you don't need to get fancy on this one. You could spend a couple bucks. This is going to help you with your time management and organization, which are super important. Again, the biggest skill that lawyers have is they get paid to handle other people's stress. And if you don't know how to handle your own stress, you're not going to be able to succeed as a lawyer. So it's absolutely essential that you use some type of organization tool when you're going in. For me, I would use a calendar on the wall, and I would write in when I had tests and certain dates and deadlines. I would script them in. And then when I was talking on a more of a micro scale, I would go online and I would just put reminders on my phone and in my calendar on my computer, which also works for you. And that's why I made it a planner as an optional item. So lastly, I want to thank you guys for tuning in this video. I hope this helps you as you're starting your law career. It's going to go fantastic. And keep in mind, you're going to do great.